What is going on, guys? It's Meui here, and today I wanted to talk about some updates and changes that I've made to my Gley build. Now, the reason I have made these changes is because of the recent fixes and changes that Nexon made to Ultimate Gley. Skill power actually scales really well now with their massacre because they fixed that on Ultimate Gley. Now, this was working on normal Gley, but not on Ultimate Gley. We have now had that bug fixed, so skill power is extremely strong, and that is why we are going to make the changes that I'm going to be showing you here. Now, a lot of you guys know that the healing that you could get on structures during boss fights using your C is no longer a thing. So that is something I mentioned in my previous video. That got patched, so that is not working anymore. And because of this change, we're going to add a little bit of extra tankiness to the build. This is the best setup that I know of currently. So now the nice thing is, my previous guide, there's not a whole lot you need to change here in terms of modules. You don't actually have to change any polarities if you don't want to. And then the other changes are actually going to come down to our components themselves. But anyways, let's get right into this. Now, this isn't going to be a full-fledged build guide here. So if you haven't seen the Gley build guide already, I would go check that out first. It is still very relevant to this. And then after you've watched that, come here for the updates. Now, before I get into the changes to the build, I'm going to show you guys what I had before, and then we're going to make the changes to what I'm using now. So this is my Gley setup that I have from the old build video. There's only one change we're going to make here. You don't have to change any polarities, but if you do change one of the polarities, it'll let you get a bit more of a defensive stat, but it is not necessary unless you really want to get that min-max on your defense. So the change that I've made here is I'm now swapping out HP collector here for spear and shield, and you can see again, you don't have to change the polarity. The main thing we're trying to get out of this is the skill power 8%. If you do want to swap the polarity here to get more of the defense, that is a totally viable solution, because as you guys know, as I said before, you can no longer heal off of using the healing trick on structures. So having that extra defense is definitely going to help you with staying alive during boss fights. Now, the other change that I've made to this build is I have dropped the Annihilation set completely. So you who don't know, the Annihilation set basically increases your firearm attack damage when your health is below 50%. But this build primarily gets its power from your actual skill power. Now that Nexon has implemented the fix for that, the massacre is what is doing the majority of your damage. And I'm going to show you guys a before and after here. But first I want to get through the build changes here. So what I've done is I've swapped to my Slayer set. And again, for your Slayer set, you kind of want to get whatever you can to give you tankiness. Now on your sensor, for example, there's really no options here. On your memory, you're going to want a big defense roll. On your auxiliary power, you're going to want max HP. Ideally, you get elemental resists on all of these, but again, the Slayer set is pretty hard to farm. So if you don't have a good Slayer set, just stick with the Annihilation set. It's still really good. But if you can get a really nice Slayer set, I would definitely recommend making this change. So my last piece is just health with a big shield roll, which obviously doesn't matter on Gley, but we have the resistance as well. That is the changes that I've made here. Now you can see, still very tanky here. We have 14k defense and 18k health. If I was to max out spear and shield here, we obviously have, somewhere around like 20k defense. Anyways, as far as changes go, that is it. That is the only changes that I've made. But I'm going to show you guys kind of the before and after and why I made these changes, because it is going to boost your damage by quite a lot. And also you can get that extra survivability out of the spear and shield if you decide that you want to swap that polarity slot. HP collector is still great. If you have it there, keep it there. If you don't want to swap the polarity, you can use that to shoot ads during fights and get your health back to kind of help maintain your HP. Now, one last thing to note is that this is my current reactor. If you have Colossus damage on your reactor, it is also going to benefit more from the Slayer set because of how skill power is scaling. So this is a bested slot reactor anyways. Obviously the Colossus damage roll is not the best, but you do want a skill cooldown and a Colossus damage reactor. And then again, the Slayer set is actually going to scale the damage of the Colossus damage bonus that you're getting. So I've swapped back to my original setup here so that we can do a damage comparison. So mods are this, and then we have our Annihilation set on. So let's check out the damage here. We're going to do it both on the dummies, and then I'm going to do it on an actual Colossus so that you can see the difference. Alright, and we've got max stacks, so let's check out the damage here. And you can see we're doing 57 Ks and 128 Ks. I know it's really hard to see for you guys, but you can see there at the end 57K and about 128K. So that 128K is actually the massacre, and the 57Ks are from our gun here. Alright, and now we've made the adjustment to spear and shield here, and we've made the adjustment to the Slayer set, so let's check out the damage on that. And you can see here we're hitting 54Ks and 172Ks. So there is quite a massive jump here in the massacre damage, while the firearm damage is not affected by very much at all actually. You can see as my health gets lower, it's actually doing more and more and more damage. At one point it was 181K there. So again, you can see there is quite a large difference in terms of the damage. Our firearm damage actually did not go down by much at all, but our skill damage on the massacre went up by quite a lot. So per shot, you're doing a lot more damage with this setup. One last thing to mention, and this isn't something that I plan to use, but it's just something if you want to go for like silly kills or whatever, speed runs, you could consider using overwhelming shield instead of increased HP. What that's going to do is drop you to 1 HP, which means you're going to be doing max damage off the start. Alright, and now I'm going to show you guys a comparison of using this against Colossi, because you do get the extra scaling on the bonus damage to Colossi on your reactor with the Slayer set. So this is our original setup with the Annihilation set and no spear and shield here. And you can get 10 seconds with this setup. It is kind of a little RNG based on if you're critting or not, but still we could see the damage numbers there. All right, and here is an example with our Slayer set and spear and shield. I tried to go for it there, almost killed it, but again, you can kind of see the damage difference. It's quite a bit. So if you guys are able to swap to a Slayer set, if you have a nice one to swap to, I would definitely make that swap. Again, the Annihilation set is great. Even with the mess up there, still 10 seconds. So there you go, guys. Definitely worth making that swap if you can. And just for the memes, we're going to do it with the overwhelming shield as well. See if we can get it in one phase without having to even use RV a second time. And we're dead. But anyway, sorry guys, my dog actually took my mouse out of my hands while I was in the middle of that, so unfortunately I had to exit the fight there. But if you do get a good component set on Gley, you really shouldn't have too many problems surviving. Again, I'm noticing this with some Gley players is that they forget that they can exit frenzy mode or run around and grab HP packs and stuff from the ads that spawn. So again guys, if you're having trouble surviving, make sure you're using cover, make sure you're going and picking up HP. The exact same things you would pretty much be doing on other Descendants. Now obviously your abilities cost health. If you're getting too low, what you can do is just exit all the frenzy stuff. You don't have to force it at all times during a boss fight, and just fight the boss like normal. Get your HP back and then go back to doing your thing. I hope this video was helpful. Thank you guys so much for watching. Enduring Legacy build video out later today, and I will catch you guys in the next one, which will be that video. Peace.